So a little introduction about Soumya while she's getting ready, right? She was the prime student of my last batch. She appeared at all the co-working sessions. She worked through all the projects, all the exercises very actively. And she was one of the prime student of my last batch. So I want her to be here and share her experience. So over to you, Soumya.
Hello, everyone. I'm Soumya, and thanks for the introduction, Bhavani. That was like very kind. I was not present at all the working sessions, but like when I was, you could hear me. So I think that sort of left the impression that I was actively involved. So I had joined the bootcamp because I was tired of the tutorial hell. Like I used to, I knew Python and I was using it at work, but and I am from a CS background. So software engineering was not something that was completely foreign to me, but I still had that imposter syndrome. I'm not good enough, or I'm not I'm not using it in the best way possible. But I used to do a lot of tutorials and stuff, and I used to sort of get stuck. Like I could follow what the tutorial said, the instructions, and then I wouldn't have the inspiration to go beyond it. Or like I would try to build something bigger, but I would not know how. Like I would work on it for some time, exhaust myself, and then just leave that side project, like never finish it. So I was in the habit of just starting new things and never finishing them. That was something I hope to overcome by joining the bootcamp, the Python apps bootcamp. And I would say that I was very, like, because I had tried so many things before the bootcamp, like I was very excited and motivated to like use all the resources I had in the bootcamp. And it was a great experience. Like there, after the boot, like if I were to compare myself before and after the bootcamp, I would say I gained a lot of confidence. And I realized that a lot of the times we think, we don't know. We sort of feel like imposters. But it was, for me, it was more around working on my imposter syndrome and just realizing and accepting that everyone is figuring it out, and it is a learning process. Like you won't wake up, you won't do a course and say, okay, now I'm an expert at this. You're going to be learning every day. And the more you embrace that, like the easier I think the process becomes for you. Not that you won't face challenges, but like it gets better. You stop feeling scared about it. And I have a small, like I think most of what I would have shared with you about how you can like make the most of the bootcamp, Bhavani already covered it, but I just share that so that like everyone remembers that. So I'll just share my screen quickly. It is host disabled participant screen sharing. So mostly I would say that ask questions and engage with Bhavani. Like there were a lot of times where there was something in the, like we were learning something in the course and I had a question outside of it, something that was not inside the scope of the course, but would have been helpful to know. Like how do we make the trade-offs for designing the application? Like there might not be one way to approach something. There might be multiple ways, and how do you like decide which one should you go for? So like I used to annoy her with those type of questions too, and she never said, this is how. She might have like told me that this was not what I expected to be in the scope, but she always had an answer, even if like it was sharing resources or something. So I could go figure it out on my own. And the second piece of advice would be, if you're stuck, don't feel that you're alone in this. Like you have a mentor, you have a community of peers who are doing the bootcamp with you. So I would say still show up even if you're stuck, even if you feel that, I was supposed to complete this exercise by this week and I haven't been able to for whatever reason, like you have work or maybe you're facing some issue, some bug in the code that you're not able to resolve on your own, even after Googling it or trying to search it on Stack Overflow. I would say still show up to the working sessions, because there is a chance that you might be able to like talk to someone and they might be able to help you. They're possibly in the same boat as you. Like maybe you're not the only person with that error. And like I used to have a lot of, such issues that, I'm not catching up. In the initial stages, like I was a little far behind. I could have like dropped off and not shown up to the next session. But even though I had not done all my work, I used to still show up, and that used to sort of like motivate me to catch up. And the third thing is like Bhavani said, discuss and learn with your peers. And from your peers, they come from different backgrounds and they might have some really interesting things that you might want to learn from. So I come from, well, you could say it's like data engineering. So the team, I work at GS as a technology analyst, and most of my work is around data wrangling and processing it for complex dashboards. And I have to basically do the data engineering stuff and sometimes even build the dashboards in Tableau so that our stakeholders can basically understand, visualize the data and make decisions off of it. So I think there's someone else here from an ETL background as well. I think it was Abhinav, but like Python is not just used for one thing, and you might learn very interesting different things if you talk to people. That was something like I think in our batch, like we didn't do that much. Like we were basically working on the exercises, and occasionally we would like share, we are stuck at this point in the exercise, but that was all. I wish I talked to people more and like build that network. So that is something like I definitely recommend you should do. And then the fourth is like reflect and redefine your goals with time if needed. Like sometimes we start off expecting that, I'll do it's like New Year resolution, right? In the beginning of the year, you're motivated and like I'll lose weight, I'll read 100 books, and I'll make more money or like whatever is important to you. And then as the time goes by, things happen and um, circumstances change. You should take some time to reflect and adjust your expectations so that you don't feel too disappointed if you don't meet your goal. I'm not saying that don't try to set a goal and achieve it, don't be ambitious. That's not what I'm saying. But sometimes you may have to like, you may have not understood the problem, the scope of the problem, like how big it is. And if you try to solve it all at once, it may not work. And if you start feeling disappointed and demotivated, you will probably not work on things. Like you just drop it. So don't do that. Just take your time to reflect, redefine your goals, and keep moving.